Hey, what's up guys? My name is Steph Koza and today I am reviewing Thor! If you don't know yet, I have been reviewing every single movie in the MCU in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, going through them all, rewatching them all, doing a recap of every single one until Infinity War, which comes out on Thursday, so I've got a lot of videos to pump out in the next 2 days, 3 days. What day is it? I'm going crazy! Doing this is taking a lot out of me and it's taking a lot of energy, but it's fine. I've had my coffee. I've had a lot of coffee. Can you tell that I've had a lot of coffee? And today we're gonna review Thor, so let's do that. Thor is a very exciting Marvel movie, very different from all the other Marvel movies because it doesn't take place on Earth. I mean, it does, but like, you know, it starts not on Earth and you're like, where am I? Because Thor is not from Earth. Thor is a god from Asgard. His father Odin is the king of Asgard. His brother Loki is not really his brother. Spoiler alert! But if you don't know by now, all these reviews are going to be spoiler filled. Spoilers everywhere. Spoilers out the wazoo. Because if you don't know what happens in Thor by now, and you're watching this video for some reason, then you need to get your life in check. You need to sort out your priorities. I really shouldn't have gotten a spinny chair for these videos because I'm having way too much fun. Whee! So Thor is about this guy named Thor, the titular hero, directed by Kenneth Branagh, who has directed a lot of Shakespeare movies, weirdly enough. He's actually more known as an actor. He's acted in a lot more things than he's directed, but he's directed some stuff. He did Murder on the Orient Express, Cinderella. Remember the 2015 Cinderella? Me neither. But you know, that's not important. What's important is that I have an itch on my face. So basically this is like not necessarily the origin story of Thor, because he's always been Thor. He's not like someone who obtained superpowers. He's just always been that way because that's the way people on Asgard are. But it is the origin of him as a hero and as an Avenger. Because when we're first introduced to him, he's kind of an arrogant asshole. He's kind of full of himself. He thinks he's the coolest. He just wants to go beat people up with his friends and not, you know, he's a very shoot first, ask questions later or never attitude. And because of that, he gets cast out from Asgard by his dad. He's not worthy. He's not worthy of the Thor hammer, Mjolnir. So he's just thrown out into the streets of Earth. More specifically, New Mexico. And this is where he meets Jane Foster and Darcy and Eric Selvig, and things get interesting. Honestly, something that's interesting about this movie is that this is the first Marvel movie where they really introduced humor as like a huge part of the story. Like, Iron Man has a lot of humor and Iron Man is really funny, but it's mostly just because Tony Stark is a funny guy. Like, it's not like there's nothing funny happens in Iron Man. It's just realistic things that Tony says that are funny, you know? You know what I mean? It's like witty conversational humor, whereas in Thor, it's just like hilarious to watch this god try and walk around Earth like a normal person who has no idea what is going on. And it's hilarious. And it's like the first Marvel movie that's really, really funny. Now, of course, like, they're all funny and they all try to do that slapstick thing, and it kind of is a little bit forced by this point, I feel. But it was interesting to go back and rewatch all of these in order and realize that Thor was the first one that actually tried doing that. And did it really well. I think this movie is hilarious. There are so many good moments and so many quotable moments, and I was just watching it and I was like, wow, I have like a gif of every scene that I've saved that I use in everyday conversation. It's all from this movie. This is also where we meet Loki, who, if you don't know, is one of my favorite characters of all time. And I love his story arc in this movie. I love that you really don't see any of it coming. I love how innocent he looks at first and how he's just kind of this troubled guy, and he just really develops and evolves as the movies continue. And when you first see this movie, you think like, oh, it's just Loki's just gonna be in this one movie and then he's never gonna get talked about again. But then he comes back and he's amazing, and I love Loki. I love him. He is one of the best villains ever created. I love him. This movie also ruined me a little bit. This film came out in 2011. I was a senior in high school, or I had just graduated from high school, depending on what month it came out. So at that point in my life, I was very obsessive, you could say, with like actors and boys, and I just loved boys. I was just in that phase of my life, you know? And this movie came out and I just completely 100% fell in love with Loki. Like, fell into a hard, obsessive, internet stalking obsession with Loki. More specifically, Tom Hiddleston, who plays Loki. I don't know, this movie just ruined me and my lady parts. And to this day, I still love Tom Hiddleston so much. I don't know what it is about that man and this role that just, It did some things to me. So yeah, this movie, despite most people's opinions, at least people that I've talked to, I love this movie. This is one of my favorite Marvel movies. I know this is a very unpopular opinion. A lot of people hate this movie, and I can never understand why. I just have no idea why nobody likes Thor. I love Thor. I think Asgard is beautiful. I think the whole world is so pretty. I love the like fantasy element of it. Like, maybe that's why I like it. That's probably why I like it so much, now that I think about it. I love fantasy and like Lord of the Rings and shit like that, and Asgard has that vibe very much. And I just love the way that they talk and that they all have like swords and medieval weapons, and it's just so cool. I also like that they don't really have superpowers, that's what they are like on that world. Thor is nothing special on Asgard. He's just like everybody else. It's just when it comes to Earth that he's like a superhero. Kind of like Superman, which I think is kind of cool. I just love Asgard and I love everything about it, and I love their clothes. Ugh, I just love it. And I love all the Norse mythology. It's just so cool. I love otherworldly things. But I don't know, I just really love this movie. I love Darcy. I think she's really funny and really cute. I think Thor is really funny. I think everything about this movie is hilarious, but also really dark, like Loki's story, and when you figure out who he is, and it just hurts. It's so heartbreaking, and it's so well done, and I love it, and the music is so good. I don't know why, I just really like this movie. I think it has so many great moments, and it's consistently entertaining from beginning to end. Like, there's never a dull moment, there's always something happening. I would give this movie like a 4? A 4 out of 5? Maybe even a 4.5 out of 5. I could watch this movie over and over and over again, and I actually did. When this movie first came out on DVD, I bought it, and I literally just watched it on repeat over and over again. Could possibly have been because of my obsession with Tom Hiddleston and not because of my obsession with the movie, but still, I watched it a lot, and I still love it. So I think that says something. So I'm gonna give it a 4.5 out of 5. That seems pretty high. Whatever, it's my review. I can give it whatever I want. So yeah, let me know if you guys like Thor. I'm curious to see if anyone else loves it as much as I do, because I just feel like a weirdo every time I tell someone this. They're like, really? You like Thor? Like, yeah, I like Thor. Sue me. Jeez. Anyways, that's it for this review. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to look out for my next Marvel review, which will be coming out shortly. That will be, what is the next movie chronologically after Thor? The Avengers! The Avengers is next! Look out for that. It'll be coming to a internet screen near you. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Steph Koza. Bye!